Good afternoon, everyone. It's David Schlotthauer here in the home weather office for your Monday, February the 12th, 2024. In today's detailed weather forecast, we are watching a nor'easter that is still expected to really explode in size for your day tomorrow, expected to bring quite a bit of heavy snowfall for the downtown New York area, along to go with strong winds that could bring down trees and power lines. We're also talking about a lot of accumulated snow that could really cause some road closures and some flight cancellations and delays out there. So in today's video, we will be breaking down all those details. So taking a look at the NAM 3-kilometer model here for tonight. This is New York time, by the way. So 10 p.m. for New York, for the Worcester area. You can see some of the rain down there across Philadelphia. If you're in Baltimore, if you're in Washington, D.C., Charlottesville, Charleston, yeah, you got that rain shield moving up from the south, moving towards the north gradually as the system gets better organized, right? Let's go forward in time. Let's go into 3 in the morning for your Tuesday. Yes, we're going to start seeing some snow accumulating across central Pennsylvania. If you're in northern New Jersey, if you're in central southern New York State, you have some snow chances that are going to increase because as those temperatures get low enough, we're going to start seeing rain turning into snow for these areas. But look at that to the south along, say, the Maryland coast, as well as, say, Delaware, you have a good shot at seeing some convective elements of showers and thunderstorms. Some of these could produce some brief water spouts and some very strong wind gusts exceeding 40 to 50 miles an hour. But overall, a lot of snowfall is expected to develop. So by your morning commute for your Tuesday, it's gonna be a terrible one. Please do not go to work if you don't have to tomorrow because, yeah, a lot of road closures, potentially. You don't get this much snow very often, so you can see that happening. And significant delays, of course. Okay, so the I-95 corridor, just be aware of that. Gonna see quite a bit of snow throughout here. Also to the south, again, that heavy rain does continue. So where it snows first, like in this area of New York, right, just north of the metro area, once it starts snowing, it's going to stay snowing for much of the day. In fact, literally all day until, actually not all day, I would say until about noon or so, you'll have that snow coming down. This is a quick mover system, but the snowfall rates will be very impressive. So just keep that in mind as you are headed out tomorrow morning, okay? And then your evening commute should be pretty good, in pretty good shape. Only a little bit of snow there along the Maine coast, as well as, say, if you are in, say, Cape Cod, you have that snow chance lingering. This system is going to be very fast moving, though. It's going to be moving in late tonight, and it's going to be out of the area within 24 hours. So that's the good news for a lot of you that don't like the snow or you don't like the wind or the rain. The good news is this will be in, and it's going to be out of here. It's not going to hang around at all for very long. You could see for Syracuse, New York, though, we do get some colder air showers coming through, so you can see some snow there, some lake effect, that is, and we might see some thunder snow out of some of these bands. You can see a very, very heavy one just to the southwest of Watertown in New York, so keep that in mind. If you get caught in one of these bands, you could see some very intense snowfall rates exceeding, say, 2 to 3 inches an hour, and then that kind of rolls down into central New York. So some areas will be done with the snow while others will not be. You might get a brief break, and then it looks like, again, late tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning for your morning commute could be impacted again, but most likely will not be as bad as what you will have tomorrow morning. So what about those snowfall totals? This is the 10-in-1 ratio from the NAM 3-kilometer model, and we can see where the heaviest snow is likely to fall, right? We're not using Kachira because that's a little bit inaccurate now, since we're going to have enough warm air kind of going all around the system. Cold enough for snow, but we're not going to see a dry snow because we're not going to see temperatures in the single digits or so. It's going to be a kind of a wet snow, right? A heavy wet one. So the snowfall totals in this area, anywhere from, say, portions of West Virginia into Pennsylvania, probably going to see anywhere between 7 to 10 inches of snowfall. But areas like Connecticut, especially in the northern New Jersey, this little corridor right in here, you're likely to see anywhere between maybe 11 to maybe 17 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow. That's nothing to mess with at all. It's going to be the hard shoveling snow. So it's going to be a workout when you try to shovel and clear out your driveway and sidewalks, because the snow is going to be a wet, heavy snow. It's not going to be that fluffy, dry snow. That's, oh, I can scoop it easy. This is as easy as 1, 2, 3. This is going to be more as hard as 10, 11, 12, if that makes sense, right? So on the hard scale, or the kind of the workout scale, 0 being the hardest work or the easiest workout, 10 being the hardest workout, I would say this is going to be an 8 to a 10 for many areas. It's just going to be a lot of muscle working out to keeping your driveway and sidewalks clean there. And park rangers too, keep that in mind. But the good news is, on this particular model run, a lot of the area up here early on will not be getting snow, and a lot of this will likely, again, hit this area of the metro area. But later on in the period, we might start seeing a little bit more snow coming down out, developing off of Lake Erie there, as you can see. Oh, wait, no. Lake Ontario? I think that's Lake Erie. My lakes are confused. Either way you put it, no, don't make fun of me, folks. I know you guys are like, oh, you should know this already. These two lakes are identical, okay? They look so similar in a way that Erie, Ontario, either way you put it, there's going to be some lake effect going on there, especially just southwest of Watertown, where you might have 3 to 5 inches of snow if that actually comes to pass on the NAM. The rain looks pretty impressive with this system. This is based on the 12 Z run from the NAM 3 kilometer. We're waiting for the 18Z to render. It's still rendering right now, so we'll just be using the 12Z run. Won't make much of a difference at this point. You can see, again, by the time this is all said and done, in central Kentucky, you're probably going to see anywhere between 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. Down here in Georgia, even so it's hard to see there on the map, you might see anywhere between 2 to maybe 3.5 to even 4 inches of rainfall. So again, maybe some flood problems down there. And of course, further south you go here, you might see anywhere between about 1/2 inch to maybe 1 inch of rainfall. Central New Jersey, where you don't get the snow, where that snow line just south of that, you might see about 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches, enough to cause some minor flood problems in around that area. So just be aware of that. The rain is going to be pretty heavy at times, along to go with that snow if you're in the snow zone, right? Versus if you're in the rain zone. Now, what about the wind? And the wind is going to be a big deal with this one, all right? As with most nor'easters. So if we go forward in time, wind gusts, these are wind gusts, not sustained winds, okay, at the surface. So we can see wind gusts between 30 to 40 miles an hour around the southeastern Pennsylvania as well as New Jersey. We might see some power outages, and then right along the Long Island coast there, you can see wind gusts between 40 to maybe 50 miles an hour. And then look at this for Cape Cod. Might get wind gusts nearing 60 miles an hour. Again, this is from the NAM 3 kilometer model. Those northerly winds, offshore flow, very strong. And then along the Maine coast, you might see wind gusts are right around 20 to 30 miles an hour. And this is through tomorrow early afternoon. So for your morning commute, you might be dealing with fallen trees and some power lines down as well. So avoid live wires that are on the ground. Don't ever treat any down lines as they're dead, right? Treat them as they are live. And don't get out of your car if a line is on top of your car, because you could get electrocuted with thousands and thousands of volts and few hundred amps. That's enough to kill a human easily. So don't be one of those victims that gets killed by power lines or fallen trees because I want to go to a store or I want to do something outdoors regardless of what the weather is like, because the winds are going to be a big deal with this one. And the reason why for that is because look at our pressure gradient, pretty tight from that surface low off the Cape Cod coast versus a ridge of high pressure over the Great Lakes. And so the stronger the difference, the stronger the winds are going to be. And that, what you're looking at, folks, is a 978 millibar low. That is very deep. That is not very weak at all. 974 millibars off the Cape Cod Nantucket coast, and you can see why those winds are going to be a big deal. And the low tries to intensify a little further, possibly down to 974 millibars once it gets to the south of Nova Scotia, which, by the way, Nova Scotia is going to get quite a bit of rain and snow and some high winds with this system. Well, anyways, I sure hope you found this video very helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I like making these videos as often as I can, and I do apologize, folks, if I haven't been uploading the last 3 days. It's just been really busy. When I think I have enough time to make a video, things just get filled in, right? Like Tetris blocks. And so that's what I've been dealing with. But I'm really, really hoping, fingers crossed, that I can stay more consistent with my upload scheduling, because I do feel terribly bad that I'm not there to keep you all updated, especially on yesterday's severe weather event that really caused a lot of problems. I wasn't there for that. Just, there's a lot going on. So, if you guys did like today's video, share, like, and subscribe, and also leave a comment in the section below this video, and also be sure to check out the Weather Force Discord server. There will be a link in the description below this video if you also want to check out that, okay? Now, before I do end the video, I do have a few important announcements to share with you all, because I feel like it's a good idea to keep you guys in the loop of what is going on. So as you all know, I do apologize that I haven't been uploading recently in the last couple of days, even the last few days, and that's just because when you think my schedule looks good and free of anything, things get filled in, you know? It's like Tetris blocks. You can't predict on what 3 days will be ahead of me, right? Something big could happen that I'm not aware of. So therefore, I do apologize if I haven't been uploading the last 3 days. I am going to try my best at keeping you all updated as often as I can possible when I have the free time. And it looks good for tomorrow. It looks good, hopefully, for Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, and Saturday look good for the rest of the week. I will have to keep you all updated. I'm actually going to have to make a schedule and send it to you all via community post. I'm actually going to work on that right now, so you guys are aware of the schedule. Not only that, secondly, I do have a Weather Force Discord server, so if you all want to check that out, there is a link in the description below if you want to visit that. And also, lastly, I am looking forward to tracking hurricane season with you all for the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. This season is expected to be very, very, very busy, and that's because we have a strong La Nina that is developing over the course of the summer period into the early fall, and that typically means a very busy Atlantic hurricane season, because the Atlantic is going to remain well above average with sea surface temperatures, and I believe me or not, much of the climate models are really going aggressive for this year's hurricane season. I cannot wait to give you all my predictions on how many named storms I'm forecasting, how many hurricanes, and how many major hurricanes are all expected. That will be released with my preliminary first Atlantic hurricane season video, will be out on the YouTube channel on April the 15th, 2024. So I'm looking forward to that. But until then, we are going to continue to keep an eye on the United States with active weather. And then lastly, yes, this is going forever, is we're going to keep an eye on the West after this nor'easter, because there is more big storms headed for the West with more heavy rain, flooding, heavy snow for the higher elevations, and more high winds. But anyways, that is going to do it with today's video. Share, like, and subscribe, and I'll have more for you tomorrow.